You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Today, firefighters rescue a man after his SUV crashes into Shoal Creek.
Not only a great-looking Tuesday, but 48 hours of dry weather and sunshine before the rain reemerges for the weekend. The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And a new study shows brain stimulation may help some smokers kick the habit. All that and more coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Firefighters rescue a man from a submerged SUV in Shoal Creek. Highway Patrol says the driver was going north on Gateway Drive in Newton County Monday morning when his SUV left the road and traveled down the bank into the water under the bridge. An investigator says the driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. Reddings Mill Water Rescue Team managed to get him to shore without injuries. Reddings Mill Fire Department and Metro Towing later managed to get the SUV out of the water. A Fairland, Oklahoma woman is charged with manslaughter in a February hit and run in Ottawa County that resulted in a man's death. Authorities say Mindy McBride was driving east on Steve Owens Boulevard in Miami when she hit Guang Zhenji, who was riding a scooter. Police say she drove off and was later found with her car run off the road. She's charged with first-degree manslaughter and leaving the scene of an accident. An Independence Community College associate professor is charged with rape. Lawrence Markowitz is an associate professor of instrumental music at ICC. He was arrested on Friday, but Monday he was officially charged with 1 count each of rape, attempted rape, aggravated sexual battery, and furnishing alcohol to a minor. Markowitz's attorney says he has been placed on administrative paid leave from ICC. Special prosecutor has been hired for the case. Markowitz will make his first formal court appearance today. On Monday, a Kansas district court judge struck down a new Republican-backed congressional map. The map faced lawsuits claiming it would likely make it harder for the only Democrat in the state's delegation to win re-election this year. The judge's ruling is the first time a court has declared that the Kansas Constitution prohibits political gerrymandering. The state has appealed to the Kansas Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected an appeal by Kansas to revive a law that bans secret filming at slaughterhouses and other livestock facilities. Kansas made it a crime for anyone to take a picture or video at an animal facility without the owner's consent or to enter the facility under false pretenses. Lower courts struck down the law, and today the High Court upheld those decisions. The ruling says the so-called ag-gag law violated the First Amendment by stifling speech critical of animal agriculture. Missouri's 2 U.S. senators introduced a resolution to honor 3 fallen police officers with connections to the 4 states. 2 of the officers are Corporal Ben Cooper and Officer Jake Reed of the Joplin Police Department. They were killed in a shootout in early March. 3rd Officer Rick Hershey was also shot in that incident but survived. Now, the 3rd officer honored in this resolution is Patrolman Lane Burns of the Bonne Terre Police Department. Burns is a Carthage native who was shot and killed in the line of duty on March 17th. The resolution expresses condolences to the families of these fallen officers and to other members of law enforcement. Cotty College Board of Trustees announces Dr. Stephanie Niles as the school's 13th president. Dr. Niles had been serving as vice president for enrollment and communications at Ohio Wesleyan University in Delaware, Ohio. Before that, she worked at several other universities, including Dickinson College and the University of Tennessee. Her first day with Cotty will be July 1st. Freeman Health System brings back a summer program. It's called Freeman Health Academy. It offers people a chance to get some hands-on learning in a real healthcare setting. Anyone ages 16 and up can submit an application. There'll be 4 one-week sessions available this summer. The first is from June 13th through the 17th, and then June 20th through the 24th, July 5th through the 8th, and July 25th through the 29th. Each session will have up to 15 participants. Jon Stewart received one of the most prestigious awards in comedy on Sunday. The 59-year-old comedian accepted the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor at Kennedy Center in Washington. Contemporaries, including Dave Chappelle, Jimmy Kimmel, Pete Davidson, and Steve Carell were in attendance. The event celebrated Stewart's decades-long career from The Jon Stewart Show on MTV, Comedy Central's Daily Show, and The Problem with Jon Stewart on Apple TV+. Stewart is the 23rd recipient of the award. Richard Pryor was the first to win it in 1998.
Once accidentally made an appearance on the Jon Stewart show.
You accidentally made one?
Yeah. One thing I love about Jon Stewart is aside from just his comedy and the way he can take on a serious issue and make you care about it. Aside from that, do you remember back in the day? I'm going to go back to MTV.
Okay.
Do you remember clean cut, dapper Jon Stewart? He is so comfortable with himself that he is just like, no, folks, this is me. This is called aging, and if you love me, you love me, and if you don't, I don't care. And I have just come to love his attitude as he's gotten older, to the way he takes on all comers. I love it.
There you go.
Surprised you didn't call it the bustling metropolis of Delaware, Ohio.
I should have.
It's a nice place. There's nothing wrong with Delaware, Ohio, Tanya Bach. There's nothing wrong. They're great. Ohio has such great names of places. I need to catch up. Dr. Niles, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would love to sit down and talk with her. We would probably spend more time talking about the fun about Central Ohio than we would about education, but it would still be great. Live look outside of Television City, where we've got plenty of blue sky and sunshine. It's a little bit deceiving, though, because if you were to look at that and I were to tell you, oh, let's say it was June or July, you'd be saying, oh, it could be 75, 80 degrees early in the morning. Well, when we look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, as clear as it is, and we throw that on there, and yes, we actually are in the midst of a frost advisory all the way until 9 o'clock this morning. Now, certainly as you move to the north, our temperatures much different than what we're seeing south of I-44. Look at that, 35 in Iola. That at one point in time was at 33, just above the freezing mark. And it's been steadily in the 40s in Neosho, Anderson, and Cassville. So it's quite a difference when you get below the interstate right there. And hopefully, this is the last time we will see a frost advisory in some time. But overnight, we lost all that cloud cover, wasn't able to trap in any of the heat that we had from yesterday. But with a little shift of the wind as it moves in from the east and slows down quite a bit, we'll just go 5 to 10 miles per hour today. It allows us just a couple more degrees on the thermometer for the afternoon, up into the mid-60s. Still not yet to 70. But we stay dry, and we're going to need that because once we get into Thursday, then the rain begins once again. So Tuesday and Wednesday looking gorgeous, not warm, albeit not warm, but gorgeous outside for some fresh air. Then we get into Wednesday night, Thursday morning, because once that rain develops, it is going to stick around from Thursday through Friday into Saturday, even with the warming activity. Here's the good part, Tanya. Looking at our hydrographs and our rivers right now, it appears as though our main rivers are going to be able to absorb water without a dire threat of flooding. This go round looking at probably 3/4 to an inch of rain of accumulation by Saturday. In the grand scheme of life, that's not a lot. You know what though? It's kind of counterintuitive. When you put anything in the grand scheme of life, what is a lot? I don't have an answer for you. It's Michael's rhetorical question of the morning.
It just got deep. Deep enough to send you to the doghouse?
About yay, but you're so great at segues. Like you're the queen of segues.
Well, Michael, being in the doghouse can be bad. It can be a bad thing. But not today. Our good friend Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society is back in studio to tell us about some really cool doghouses. And later we're taking you to Brick World, where artists and architects use Legos to build their dreams. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Well, a new treatment is showing promise in helping smokers quit. Plus, COVID hospitalizations are on the rise again nationwide. Wendy Gillette has a look at the day's top health stories.
A White House official says prescriptions for the COVID-19 treatment Paxlovid have doubled over the last 2 weeks. Coronavirus response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha made the comment to NPR. The CDC says the COVID hospitalization rate has climbed 9% nationwide over the last 7 days. A new study links calcium supplements to earlier death in older people with heart valve disease. Researchers at the Cleveland Clinic found the supplements seem to make the condition worse. Calcium supplements are frequently given to older people to reduce the risk of bone fractures. And new brain stimulation treatments seem to help smokers quit. New research in the journal Addiction found smokers who received non-invasive brain stimulation had a higher likelihood of being able to sustain not smoking than smokers who received a simulation of the treatment. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Relation? About 18 million U.S. children are still not eligible to get the protection of a COVID-19 vaccine, but a key step towards vaccine authorization for kids under 5 could happen soon. Mandy Gaither has more on the timeline.
Only one age group remains. Kids under 5 still can't get the COVID-19 vaccine, and many parents have been waiting for it.
I totally understand they're frustrated. I am frustrated on their behalf.
In February, the FDA said more data from clinical trials was needed to move forward on an emergency use authorization for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for younger children. Now we're learning another vaccine maker could soon seek sign-off for that age group.
We expect Moderna to do that this week. And then the FDA scientists are going to do what they have done throughout the whole pandemic, right? Which is they're going to evaluate the data. They are going to assess it for safety and effectiveness, and they're going to make a determination of when it meets their standards.
The White House COVID-19 response coordinator says it's unclear how long the authorization process will take, but expects kids under 5 to be eligible to get the vaccine in the next couple of months.
I have no expectations that there are going to be any major hiccups, that this should move quickly.
This comes as COVID-19 cases are trending up across most of the U.S. Deaths remain low, but hospitalizations are up about 9% from last week.
Cases are still important. Infections are still important. We want to keep those infection numbers low, but they mean something different now than they did a year ago, right? They mean something different because people are vaccinated and boosted.
Don't mind the dramatic music. Pfizer CEO said his company's goal is to have its COVID-19 vaccine available for kids 4 and younger by summer. Well, Stevie Nicks is ready to tour again. Yesterday, the 73-year-old musician announced her first live show since before the pandemic. Nicks posted 4 new concerts as part of a limited summer and early fall tour, including appearances in Salt Lake City and Mountain View, California. In August, Nicks announced she was canceling all of her tour dates for the year due to COVID-19. Along with her tour, the Fleetwood Mac frontwoman also plans to appear at several music festivals, including Bonnaroo. Tickets for the new tour dates go on sale this Friday.
She'll be touring long after you and I are no longer a part of this show. Possibly no longer here.
Still kicking. In
Still
the 70s.
riding a broom. I love Stevie Nicks, but it was a running joke. It still is a running joke in the Hayslip household because of her previous endeavors into Wicca, that whenever you hear the name Stevie Nicks, somebody has to yell, "She's a witch!" It's like we combine Monty Python and Stevie Nicks' personal beliefs. And by the way, let's do this. I want to here Tim, bring Tanya back on with me really fast. I don't
know where we're going with this. Okay.
Oh no, it's cool. 66 today, sunny skies. It's going to be delightful outside today and tomorrow, even a little bit warmer for tomorrow. Now, beginning Thursday night, if the kids or you have outdoor plans, really from Thursday all the way into Saturday morning, umbrella weather. Our ground looking like it's going to be able to absorb that 3/4 to an inch of rain. Still keeping our eyes though on Saturday afternoon and evening events as far as what that will happen. It's going to be spotty. I've told Jasmine Kyle from the SCK Humane Society, more of a dreary day, more so than an absolute rain out for Friday night with the Pittsburgh Art Fest.
Mm-hmm. And a big deal with that Pittsburgh Art art walk, if it is raining, we know where to find Michael. That's in the doghouse, and we'll find out more about that after the break.
Wait. Okay. Stevie decides she's going to go back on tour. That's cool, okay? But the reason that nobody went to the last tour is because Lindsay bowed out. So Lindsay starts his own tour. But get this. Remember, there's no Stevie Nicks if not for Lindsey Buckingham as part of that group. Do you believe it? I'm beginning to wonder why.
Michael, back in the doghouse after the break. Welcome back. We've got Jasmine Kyle in studio this morning. I keep teasing that Michael's going to be in the doghouse Friday night, but I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine for the art walk. And
we've got over 20, so he could get room for it. So
he could put his front half in one and the back half in another. Yes. Let's talk about these doghouses built by fifth graders.
Yeah, which is mind-blowing. We were very lucky to be able to meet with the kids a few weeks ago and see the houses in person. And as you can see, they're stunning. I mean, it is insane. And these are fifth graders, y'all, that are making these full-size dog houses from scratch. And it doesn't just start with the large made projects. It's a math project. This was all funded and made possible by the Pritchett Grant Committee, but these kids first have to present a model. So they draw up the big scale production and then they have to scale it down. They have to go backwards and do decimals, fractions, the whole 9 yards and present that first. And then after that point, then becomes the production of the larger items. And there's so many parties involved in this project. And one of them was the PSU art department. As you can see, these houses are beautiful. The kids have used different styles and techniques and painting tips from the PSU art department to make them visually appealing, and every house has a different story. We walked in that day with a puppy named after SpongeBob characters, and there was literally a Bikini Bottom SpongeBob house. There's of course a lot of lakeside themed ones, but they're amazing, and the pictures don't show it, but they shingle these houses. It's not a simple project where, yes, you know, they come up and put the pieces together and then they have adults, you know, do the final touches. These kids do everything from start to finish, from nailing to hammering to shingling, and they are stunning. These kids are so proud of what they have made from their own hands, and 100% of these dog houses, they are going up for auction at the Pittsburgh Art Walk. They are teaming up with us this Friday. We'll be there, and those houses, there's over, I believe there's 22 to be exact, and they'll be there for the public to see from 5 p.m. to 7. You got 2 hours to come see them. And then at 7 o'clock, our next party, Myra's Auctioneer Service, we will be auctioning them off live to the public. So you will be able to take a home that night. But we also had another partner, Pure Looks Dog Food Company. They're donating dog food on top of it. So not only will you get an amazing, stunning, high quality dog house, you're also getting a free bag of food on top of it. We are so blessed to have so many parties come together, not only to support this project and the kids and what they are doing for the community, but to have these proceeds go to our animal shelter right now. It's a very truly touching moment, to say the least.
And if you don't have a dog to put in a dog house, you can also find them at the Art Walk as well.
Yes, exactly. So not only are we having this very special event, but we're also returning to Art Walk. We will have our very own booth at the event, just like in old past times. We'll have our information booth and table there, and we're also going to have some fur babies. We're going to have some canines at the event. Montana, who's been on before, he's planned to be at the event. We have an amazing Border Collie mix, Crystal. She's stunning. She will be at this event, and we're talking about bringing some puppies as well, looking for fosters and fosters to adopt. They are Bernedoodle puppies. They are just a few months old, and they're Mountain Bernese mountain dog mixes. They are so cute. And during this event, not only can you come up and find more information about them, you can check them out at the event. We'll require your name, your license, and then a contact number, and you can walk them throughout the event and socialize them. And if you're walking them, we'll have actual bio cards. So if somebody comes up and sees their adoption uniform on, you can actually be like, hey, you know, I'm walking this dog right now for the Humane Society, but but hey, this is where they're at. Here's this dog's information. So not only are you having a good time socializing with an amazing dog, but you're also helping spread information about them too.
That's awesome. Yeah, help him find a new home.
Exactly.
All right, and then maybe they want to get a doghouse to go with them as well.
We hope so. That would be amazing.
So you said all the funds from these doghouses, once they're sold, goes back to the Humane Society. So we need as many people to attend this auction as possible.
Please, yeah, because again, these houses, I cannot tell you, we got to see them firsthand. They are so good. These kids have done so much detailing to them. We're talking painting ombres. There was one house that looked like wooden planks, like white ash oak, and I was like, what is that? And they had hand painted that. I mean, taken hours to do that. These kids have made these houses into art themselves. It is so beautiful. So if you are looking for a dog house, not only to have a dog house, but to looking at an addition to your, they're great. And even if you don't have a dog house, but maybe your neighbor has been needing one, come out, come look at them. There is so many to choose from. And then sometimes we will have people who bid on them that donate them towards families as well. So there's lots of options for this auction.
There you go. And again, the auction will be held, and the doghouse is set up at 4th and Broadway.
Right. Yep, 4th and Broadway. You will not miss us. There's over 22 of these bad boys, and we'll have our event on top of it, but we're going to be right at the beginning of 4th Street in front of Brick and Mortar.
So come and check them out between 5 and 7, and then be there at 7 for the live auction.
Yep.
All right, sounds great. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And hope you guys have a wonderful Friday.
We're excited.
All right, we'll be right back.
We take this time to honor this morning's four-state hero. Adam Beckman served in the United States Army from 2003 to 2007, a member of the 891st Company and a native of Brazelton, Kansas. We thank you, this morning's four-state hero, Adam Beckman. Legos are opening up a world of possibilities. Brett Vickery with the story from the Brick World exhibition at Wisconsin State Fair Park.
If you thought Legos were just a bunch of small bricks for kids, you're wrong.
Artists, engineers, architects, they can do anything they want with Lego because the possibilities are absolutely endless.
And Brick World is where those potential careers can start.
It can open up your imagination to the world. It's fun to build with, and you can do anything with it.
You could build anything with them, so you could build whatever you want.
From the Great Ball contraption,
it's a series of small Lego machines that pass Lego soccer balls from one end of the module to the next. It's inspiring, it's mesmerizing, especially for aspiring engineers.
To dozens of intricate builds.
That's like the dream kind of here. It's like really cool, and like if you love Legos, it's the dream come true.
There's something for everyone.
We want to inspire kids of all ages that feel like they've never had an opportunity to explore that artistic side. And there's such a great opportunity to do that with Lego.
Another half hour of news and weather just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, streaming services once looked like the answer to cable. Now many people are deciding to cut them loose. And as electric cars grow in popularity, the next big thing could be electric trucks. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back after this.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:33. Let's take a look at today's top stories. An Independence Community College associate professor is charged with rape. Lawrence Markowitz is an associate professor of instrumental music at ICC. He was arrested on Friday, but on Monday he was officially charged with 1 count each of rape, attempted rape, aggravated sexual battery, and furnishing alcohol to a minor. Markowitz's attorney says he has been placed on paid administrative leave from ICC. A special prosecutor has been hired for the case. Markowitz will make his first formal court appearance today. Fairland, Oklahoma woman is charged with manslaughter in a February hit and run in Ottawa County that resulted in a man's death. Authorities say Mindy McBrien was driving east on Steve Owens Boulevard in Miami when she hit Guang Jing Yi, who was riding a scooter. Police say she drove off and was later found with her car run off the road. She's charged with first-degree manslaughter and leaving the scene of a fatality accident. Firefighters rescue a man from a submerged SUV in Shoal Creek. The Highway Patrol says the driver was going north on Gateway Drive in Newton County. when his SUV left the road and traveled down the bank and into the water under the bridge. The investigator says the driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. Reddings Mill Water Rescue Team managed to get him to shore without injury. The Reddings Mill Fire Department and Metro Towing later managed to get the SUV out of the water. An Ozark, Missouri man is dead after crashing his motorcycle over the weekend in Berry County. Missouri Highway Patrol says 48-year-old John Doherty was traveling east on Highway 76 near Shell Knob when he traveled off the road and hit a sign. He was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. U.S. Supreme Court rejects an appeal by Kansas to revive a law that bans secret filming at slaughterhouses and other livestock facilities. Kansas made it a crime for anyone to take a picture or video at an animal facility without the owner's consent or to enter the facility under false pretenses. Lower courts struck down the law, and yesterday the High Court upheld those decisions. The ruling says the so-called ag-gag law violated the First Amendment by stifling speech critical of animal culture. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is celebrating what could be a beautiful future for an endangered species. Service's Red Wolf Recovery Program posted this reveal of a new litter of red wolf pups on Facebook. The litter of 6 pups has 4 girls and 2 boys. They're so tiny. Program says they were born at an Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge in North Carolina last week. They're the first wild-born litter of red wolves since 2018. Officials say the new litter is renewing hope for survival of the species. Mission for the recovery program since the red wolf was listed as an endangered species back in 1973.
Thoughts on wolves? Mine are not going to be popular around this area. Do you have any thoughts on wolves?
My son, my oldest son, actually, when he was, I think he was in the 4th grade, gave it like a PowerPoint presentation on wolves and like future fascination with wolves and whatnot. And now my nephew, who is 7, wants to do, like, he wants to become a wolf, like, protector of wolves and like learn about wolves and teach wolves and talk to wolves and all that stuff.
So that's so interesting because I have a fascination with wolves. I absolutely adore them, which I knew would not be popular with ranchers. And that's fine. Say what you will, folks. The baying of wolves and their vocalization. I accidentally.
Do you include like coyotes in that?
I read a book on it one time, and as a kid, I've been addicted to the pitch and the vocalization of wolves ever since. It's crazy. What we've learned in the past 20 years with the vocalization of wolves is crazy. It's amazing.
My nephew Remington considers himself a wolf whisperer.
I'm more curious to read books and do that from afar, but Godspeed to him.
Yeah. Trips to the zoos.
Wish him the best.
Yeah.
I can take him down by the Neosho River and
have a howfest.
We will find plenty, trust me.
There you go.
7th and Rangeline sitting at 40 degrees. We're starting to warm up just a little bit. So as Joplin creeps from about 35 all the way up to 40 here. A majority of that precipitation that you're seeing picked up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker not able to hit the ground. This does include the cloud cover, but look, you have to move all the way east of the Mississippi to, never mind thunderstorm activity, to even find clouds for the most part. And so here we go. Now we're starting to see a legitimate amount of 40s on the board to the tune of mid-60s later on this afternoon. As we progress through tonight, nice thing is we are done with our frost advisories. We will call that a winter, up into the high 60s, if not low 70s tomorrow. And then Thursday, here we go. We'll begin Wednesday night. Thursday morning, thunderstorm activity rolls through with rain lasting from Thursday all the way till Saturday. Be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page on our morning Instapoll, summer school. While a lot of us may associate that with maybe a bad semester and trying to do a little catch up from the previous one, today's kids, that's not the case. Kids K through 12 are taking advantage of experiences, hands-on classwork, and just a whole bunch of really interesting offers from school districts that a lot of us didn't have offered when we were children. Our question for you this morning is, did you attend summer school? Right now, 71% of you say, no, you did not. Really think this will change here in a matter of years as we see those opportunities seized upon by not only parents making sure their kids stay engaged during the summer, but kids saying, wow, I really want to do that. That's not something that we were able to do during the school year. Appreciate everybody's engagement each and every morning. One of the largest streaming platforms in the world is dealing with major losses. Netflix. All right, get this. Lost a chunk of subscribers, expects to lose millions more this year alone. Experts say this is a growing trend. You've got households cutting streaming services in response to inflation. Here's a look at what this could mean for the future of streaming.
American households are tightening their budgets, and streaming services are taking a hit.
It's just a really messy moment in the market with changing consumer behaviors.
Last week, Netflix announced it lost 200,000 subscribers in the first quarter and says it expects to lose a huge 2 million subscribers before July. A new survey conducted by research firm Momentive and CNBC found 35% of Americans cut a monthly subscription to rein in their spending, while another 36% are considering it. Another survey done in the UK by research firm Kantar found some services, like Disney Plus, are struggling to keep up with Netflix, which was still first choice for consumers to keep. Experts say it's evidence that Disney Plus is still trying to figure out what people want to watch. The popular ABC show Dancing with the Stars will air exclusively on Disney Plus starting in the fall.
If the only thing that your library has is kids' content, or Marvel content or Pixar content, there's a difficult question of how do you keep audiences happy?
And it's not just U.S. households cutting back. According to Kantar, people in Britain canceled 1.5 million subscriptions this year.
You have obviously inflation and the war and a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace.
So what else is to blame? Streaming services boomed during the pandemic. But that's changing with a return to normal and inflation rising. Experts also point to a behavioral shift among younger generations.
And YouTube is free. And YouTube's usage ticked up in the U.S. in March 2022 more than Netflix's.
We'll be back with more consumer news right after this.
You.
There, why not? With a beautiful Tuesday morning that we have, a little look over 7th and Range Line. That, of course, was facing off to the east. That's where we get our gorgeous sunrise from. Our record high on this April the 26th dates back to 1987, where it got up to 90 degrees. And here we are, kind of with 3 consecutive days where we will be below normal temperatures, but a whole lot of sunshine to go along with it. As we progress into our current conditions at 7th and Range Line, 40 degrees, and we're going to check back in, get a look at our extended forecast in just a little bit, but now over to Tanya in Studio K.
Electric and hybrid vehicles are becoming more popular in the U.S. Now there's a push to get green trucks on the road. Dina Dimitris reports.
Jeremiah Glover is on the road again.
Okay, now we're on.
But you won't hear the engine roar in his new truck. Glover is driving a rig that runs on hydrogen-powered fuel cells with 0 harmful emissions.
The quietness of it, you don't hear nothing besides the e-motors running. It's totally different, but a difference for the good, in my opinion.
Glover works for Total Transportation Services in Los Angeles. Tony Williamson is the Director of Sustainability.
We will be a zero-emission company. Just a matter of time.
The company is testing not only hydrogen fuel cells, but also battery-powered electric vehicles.
The charger fits right in here.
In 90 minutes or so, you said?
90 minutes.
But Williamson says going green comes with challenges. Right now, the trucks are used for short runs because electric vehicles can only get around 250 miles on a charge. Fuel cells can go further, but hydrogen isn't readily available outside of LA. Then there is the cost.
Conventional diesels come in with tax license about $145,000 to $150,000. So these trucks are more like $400,000 to $500,000.
TTSI hauls goods from Los Angeles area ports, which recently announced that only zero-emissions trucks will be allowed starting in 2035.
We have to roll up our sleeves. There's a lot of work, a lot of money needs to be had, but we've laid the roadmap.
Several other ports across the country are pushing for carbon neutrality in the coming decades. Williamson believes it can be achieved.
As the companies begin to accept this technology, then that's going to drive the prices down on everything, infrastructure, truck costs, insurance, because you have more of them out there.
If the current testing of eco-friendly trucks goes well, TTSI could buy around 100 vehicles this year and many more down the road. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Amazon has the green light for a new headquarters in Virginia. It's a unique helix-shaped building, very eye-catching, if you will. But Jeannie Mose shows us it's also becoming something else of jokes on the internet.
When it comes to its new second headquarters to be built across the Potomac from Washington, D.C., Amazon's designers are thinking outside the box.
Give a little bit of your love to me.
The Arlington County, Virginia board gave Amazon a lot of love.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Unanimously approving plans including the Helix building with a walkable ramp surrounded by greenery, sort of a mountain hike that the public could access 2 days a month. Please tell me there's a slide to get down from the top after you hike it. Nope, sorry. The height will be about 350 feet.
Does not have stories in the traditional sense.
Twitter invented stories, comparing the Helix to everything from a rotini to a spaceship in disguise to the Tower of Babel. Some noted similarities to an ancient mosque built back in the 9th century in present-day Iraq. The Helix sure is eye-catching. Amazon in its prime. Someone emphasized the shape by tweeting, "They're screwed." And while this commenter used a bedazzled emoji to say, "How cool is this building?" someone else weaponized another popular emoji. Who says you can't polish a turd? Looks pretty shiny to us. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
To each their own, architecturally speaking. If people like it, then so be it. Joplin sits at 40 degrees right now with a live look over 7th and Rangeline. We are just about done with our frost advisories, the little green that we see on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Not a whole lot of that able to hit the ground because our air is so dry. We're going to get sunshine today, wind shifting, and it will come in from the east. Nice welcome relief from the northerly breeze that we've had. And as we prepare for the middle of the week, tomorrow is even going to be warmer as we'll throw up some 70s. Great looking Wednesday. Now, as we get into Thursday, watch the left-hand side of your screen. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, here comes the rain and the thunderstorm activity. And then once it starts, Thursday morning, we're going to get some good old-fashioned thunderstorms. We'll taper off there Thursday night into Friday morning where it's just kind of dreary and the rain remains. And then finally done with it late Saturday morning, but still 70s for both Saturday and Sunday. And we'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Elon Musk says he wants to turn Twitter into a free speech haven. Yesterday, the social media company accepted an unsolicited $44 billion takeover bid from the Tesla and SpaceX CEO. Musk has said he intends to take Twitter private, a move that would subject the company to less government oversight. Ukrainian officials have turned to the UN for help getting people out of Mariupol. About 100,000 civilians are believed to be trapped in the war-torn city. Ukraine wants UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres to insist on their evacuation when he visits the Kremlin today. A New York judge has ordered former President Donald Trump to pay a $10,000 a day fine after declaring him in contempt of court. The judge said the former president failed to produce documents in a civil lawsuit brought by the state's attorney general. Attorneys for the former president said they would appeal the ruling.
Sunny skies, highs in the 60s today, 70s tomorrow with additional sunshine. We'll call those two mild. And then Wednesday night, we get started with thunderstorms that'll roll through Thursday. And once we get started with that rain, they linger all through Friday and into Saturday morning. The positive aspect, at least we warm up into the mid-70s for the weekend.
Well, if it was up to you to name a baby spider monkey, what would you name it? How about Batman? Okay, stay with me now. Look closely at this baby's face. Oh, wow. The mark looks like the bat signal, the silhouette of a bat extending its wings, which is used to call Batman when the bad guys are stirring up trouble in Gotham.
I think you should read the rest of this as Christian Bale would have done it.
Batman was born at the Brevard Zoo in Melbourne, Florida on April 15th. There, Michael, just for you.
Zookeepers aren't sure yet if it's a boy or a little girl, but the little one is doing well with an experienced mother and other members of the Spider Monkeys troop to check in. I'm going to stop reading because we're out of time.
Thank you for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather when we see you at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.